Hello everyone, this is Prashant. Welcome to Python Automation Selenium series. Today we are going to see about the Python first part of framework setup using a page object model. So basically we are going to automate this website only, like open an orange website. Okay, I'll give you this website URL in the description. You can check it out over there. First of all, we are going to create a fresh project. So I'm going to click File, New Project. Like I'm going to give a orange HRM. So this is a project name. So I'm going to create out this project, new window. So this project is initially set up. So we need to install couple of libraries as we done under our day-to-day activities. So I will give you everything. Okay. So open your terminal. So I will give you all the links. First link is, this is the first website. Like we need to install the Python thing. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to enter. So this will install a Selenium in the first part. So after this, it will, in the meantime, I will go to the Python like pytest. I'm copying this. So once it's done, I'm pasting this Python test. So after the Python, we need a HTML report. I'm copying that as well. I'm entering. So everything is keep on installing. So I give everything in links, and we need a webdriver-manager. I'm copied that and I'm pasting it. Okay. So these are the basic libraries. We need another additional libraries that we will see in the framework design level. Okay, these are the basic things before we start. Okay. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to create a basic packages. So I will remove this main method. We don't require this. So in the first package, we need to store all the pages. So I'm going to package like pages. Okay. So I'm going to start with everything HRM. That is our project name, HRM. So pages. After this pages, we need a helper. So helper like util files. So HRM helper. So here we will keep everything. And I'm going to create another package. So this package is kind of reports, HRM reports. So in this location we are going to store reports part. Then we need another package. So in this package, I'm going to store a test cases. Okay. So these are the basic stuffs. After this, we need a common file. Generally, we know test.py file. So I'm going to create this under the project like file, Python file, conf test. So this is file I taught you. Like we need this file to set up all the basic configurations. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to store one thing, base URL. So this is the file we are going to store, base URL. So I will copy the URL from our website. Okay. So this is the base URL. It always goes here. So I'm storing this variable in this location. So after that, we are going to create like a driver launch. That is a basic setup. So in the configuration file, this configuration file is kind of a properties file. If you study Selenium using Java, that is a configured properties file. So similarly in Python we have a context. Here only I'm going to set up a browser stuff. So I'm going to create one method. This method is browser setup. Okay, I'm going to name like browser setup. Okay, so in this, basically this is the we need to use the fixtures to do the basic stuffs. I'm going to create at pytest dot fixture. So this is a picture of, I'm going to create a scope of class, because this is, I need to launch the driver based upon my each test case classes. Okay, and I'm going to enable the auto run, auto use like true, simple. So in this method, I'm going to call a request. So this kind of fixtures design we studied about in the fixtures sections. If you have faced any doubts on that, you can look into it. Okay, WSC spelling error. So in this fixture, I'm going to create a like options, Chrome options, because my laptop required Chrome options, but when normal Windows user, you don't need Chrome options. For these options, we need to import the options concept. So this and all setups will come from the Selenium WebDriver options. Okay. So after that, I'm going to create after creating Chrome options, I'm going to use add the descriptions. From here, we need to import the stuffs, right? So I'm going to from Selenium WebDriver dot Chrome dot options. From this option, I'm going to import options. So I'm going to change this. So right now we are imported options. So in this option, I'm going to, there are a couple of things in this options. So first I need to add the experimental options. So this add the experimental options. So there are I have some issue in my laptop. So that's why I'm adding this detailed stuff. So detach. So because my browser is automatically closed, that's why if you are facing the same issues, you can use this. Otherwise, unnecessary. Okay. So Chrome options, but you only want to use this line, current line. Okay. So I'm creating the request, right? So request from the class level, class dot my web element is driver equal to WebDriver. So we need a WebDriver. For that, we need to import a WebDriver. So for this WebDriver, we need to import a WebDriver from a Selenium. So WebDriver Selenium. So we need to import a WebDriver. Okay. So in this, I'm going to use a WebDriver dot Chrome. In this Chrome, I need to call we install the webdriver-manager. So we need to import the webdriver-manager. So we need to import webdriver-manager. From this manager, I'm going to go to Chrome. I need to import the Chrome driver manager. So that is the file. So in the Chrome, I need to specify. I need the Chrome driver manager. So this driver we need to install. Okay. So after that, I need to pass the options. Because why I'm passing the options is because I'm using the Chrome options setups because due to my issues. You guys don't need to use the Chrome options. You can simply write this is alone is enough. Okay. If your browser is automatically closed, we can use the detach functions. Okay. So right now we done with our driver setup. So we need to do a driver setup in the conf-test file. Why we're using a conf-test file is, so basically the basic configurations things we need to specify in the conf-test.py file. Okay. So now come to the pages. So in the pages, so before that pages, we need a helper. So we need a base like Selenium helper. So the Selenium, what is the use of the Selenium helper is kind of, it holds all the Selenium methods. So I'm going to create a method like Selenium underscore helper. So it has all the methods like clicking, entering the values, actions class, selecting a drop downs, those kind of all the setups you can run methods you can create here. So in this, I'm going to create one class. The class name is Selenium helper. So you guys want to understand why we creating the SS caps means class name start with a capital letter. Okay. So after that, I'm going to create things. Okay. So class. So in the class, class is small letter. Sorry. So in the class, I'm going to create one constructor. You know how to create a constructor. So def double underscore init. So we need to create an init. So in this init, I'm going to create a self.driver. So this driver need a driver. So whomever calling this method, I want to pass the driver variable. So I'm going to assign a local variable self.driver to driver. So whatever driver you are passing in the parameter, it assigned to your current class. Okay, how simple. Okay, so cool then. So inside this driver, you're going to create a methods. Like there are so many methods. I'm going to use today two methods. One is entering the username password. I'm clicking on the buttons. So we need two things. So one is using a web element. I'm going to create a click enter function. So what is enter function? Like keyboard function, send keys. So why I'm using small letters in a method name means that's a good practice generally. Don't use upper, lower, upper. Follow the same method. If you are keeping multiple methods words means create an underscore in the middle. Okay, it's a good practices. Okay. So under this method, so what are the method for send keys? We need two things. One is the locator, which locator you need to, and second thing is what value you want to enter. So locator and the text, what text you are going to type, text. Okay. So one is locator, another is text. So in this page, I'm going to do one small function like I need to wait for the web elements. Okay, that only we are going to do here. So for wait function in the waits in the class, I took some import function, right? That's all I'm going to do from Selenium dot webdriver dot support dot UI. So from this UI, I'm going to import the WebDriver wait function. In the same way, we need a export condition like Selenium dot WebDriver dot support. I'm importing the and as a easy. So I'm like like allies kind of easy. So in our method, I'm going to use a WebDriver wait. This wait needed two things. One is self dot driver and the number of seconds. I'm giving like minimum 5 seconds enough, and until in the easy sections, easy dot visibility of located element. So in this I'm going to pass my locator. So in this locator, if it is passed, means I need to use the send keys. So in send keys, what I want to pass? I need to pass a text. So how simple, no? So I need to pass that double element, and I'm waiting for 5 seconds and wait it. So I'm copying the same method here. So I'm going to create another method. So this method, you guys know, it's for clicking. Okay. So this is for click web element, using web element dot click. Okay. So for this I don't need a text because I don't need a text. So I'm removing this dot click method. Okay. Cool, no? So that's it. We are writing two methods. One is for entering a username or entering password, any enter fields. This is for clicking any elements. Okay. So now come to the login page. So the login page, how to in the pages package, I'm going to create a one login page, new login page. Login page is the name I'm giving. In this login page, I'm going to create one class login page. This is the class name. So I'm going to give I'm going to call the Selenium helper. So why need a Selenium helper means the Selenium helper is a kind of base class because it has all the web elements stuffs like Selenium stuffs. Okay, so it will you want, if you keep on cursor means it will ask you. So you need to import from the HRM helper package. This is the file name and this is the class name. So you want to import it. Once you import it, here also you want to create a one constructor. So you guys know how to create a constructor. Def double-hyphen init function. So in the init function, so whomever calling init function, I want to pass a driver for as well. So another thing is you want to give the driver to your super class. How to give you want to use super keyword dot init. So you want to pass the driver. So this method is super keyword is when you use a super keyword, when you want to pass something to the called the super class constructor method, we need to use a super method. Okay. So first of all, we want to find the web elements. So now come to the website. So I'm going to inspect the username field. Okay. Inspect. So I'm going to write the XPath for this page. Like I'm using a name here. Name is what? Username. I'm copying the username, writing XPath. What is the tag name? Input the tag name. Simply write / input at name equal to username. See this? It's 1 of 1 and it's highlighted. Okay. So generally, if you want to know what is XPath, please watch the XPath video and come here. Okay. So I'm going to email. This is web element. So email web element. In this web element, I'm going to pass by dot. So by you need to import a by function. So by function, you guys know where by comes from. So it's come from Selenium. Okay. So we need to import from Selenium dot webdriver dot, this is from a common dot by import what by function. Okay. So by dot we are going to use XPath and I'm pasting the XPath value. Oh, how simple, no? So next thing is we need a password, right? Like password underscore, it's a web element. If you want a short form means we will use ELE. So that's the simplest way of saying this. Web element, it's an element. Okay. And same method I'm copy pasting here. So we'll find the XPath for the password as well. So password's name is what? Password. I'm copying this password and I'm changing into password. How simple. Then I'm going to click on login button. So this is for login. So login, I'm going to inspect the login function. So I'm putting a double slash enter. It's one of one. So the entire page I have only one web element, like one button. Okay, so I'm copying this, I'm coming here, I'm changing this XPath to the button. Okay, so we have a username, password and clicking button. Okay, so inside I'm going to create a one method. Okay, so def login, this is a login method. So for login I need three things. One is self, defaultly we put self. One is we need a username. So I'm putting username. You want to pass the username. After that you want to pass the password. So if you pass the username and password, this method will do the action. So in this place we are going to write a login method. So self dot. So I need to call the web element enter. So this enter I need to pass two things. First is as I said like web element. After that I'm going to pass the password username. So again I'm going to cut a self dot. This time I'm going to use a web element enter. This time I want to pass the web element. So here see I want to use forgot to use self because it's the current class. Self, and I'm going to use here self, and I want to pass the password. So after that self dot, this is the click method generally, web element click. So for this click I want to pass the login method. So okay, self dot login, that's it. So case package. So I'm going to get a new Python file. So this Python file is I'm going to test keyword underscore login, which feature we are going to test the login feature. So login feature. So this is the file name. Inside I'm going to create a class. So test underscore login. So I'm going to test the login functions. Okay, cool. So before that, so we need a driver. So how to call the fixtures from the in a class level? So we need to use the @pytest dot mark dot use fixtures. So we want to use which function fixture in the confest file. Browser setup is my fixture. I'm using this. Okay. So right now I'm getting the fixtures methods here. So inside this package, I'm going to create two things. So I will before that I will give you one heads up. One is this is the page I give you the link. So we have two things in generally in test case we do pre-setup and tear down setup. So we can use we have one XUnit style of setup. It's a new concept. It's we can use after the pytest 3.0. So if you are using a class level of test cases, we can use setup class and tear down class. It's automatic function. Okay, in the class level. Suppose you are doing the method level means setup method, tear down method, because this will run on every methods before. Suppose you want to run the one method before all the class methods means we can simply use a setup method. So I'm going to copy the setup method. So in the setup only I'm going to do the everything self. Okay, I'm going to do the self. So first thing what you need a driver. Okay, so already driver is coming from where? In the conf test already driver is coming. Okay, what's the variable name? Driver. So in the method self dot driver equal to, so you are going to do a first of all what is the first thing? Already your browser. This login confess test is launching the browser. What is the next step? Next step you want to type the URL. So here only we are going to do driver dot get method. So for get method you want to pass the URL. Where is the URL? The URL already we mentioned in the our conf test. So I'm going to give my URL here. So I want to import from this conf test. So conf test dot import base URL. So right now what is URL is done. Next thing is I need to call the login page functions. Okay, so how to do that? We need to create a object for the class. So I'm going to create a self dot login page. This is the object for which class? Login page class. So I'm going to create a login page. This login page I need to pass the driver. Why? Because this in that constructor we are telling I want to import this login package, like it is HRM package, login page file, login page class. So we have a constructor. That constructor need a driver. That's why we are passing our own driver, self driver. This driver is we created where in the fixtures. Okay, in our test case, so I'm going to write one test case. Def test login, valid login. So this is my method. Okay, so it's a self method, self. So I'm going to use underscore. So, okay. So cool this. In this, what we want to do? We need to call the login method. So I'm going to call this is my object dot which method? Login method. This login method I want to pass two things. One is username, another is password. So if you go to our website, this in the website I will mention you what is the username and what is the password. I'm going to copy this username password. I'm going to store in the contest. So username equal to this, and I'm going to copy the password. Password is this. Okay, give cool now. So in the test feature, you don't need to write every time base URL everything. Put a star because star can bring everyone from this. So simply I want a username. So it will come from here. So username, and you need a comma password you want to pass. Password. That's it. Okay. So check in manually what is happening when you put username and password. When you put username and password, it's going here, and then you put password here. So when I click on login button, it's going to that page website. Okay, this is the website. So before that, I'm going to use a tear down function. Last time I show you how to create a setup file. This is right now we're going to do a tear down. Tear down, you guys know, like browser closing or those kind of stuffs. So I'm going to keep like copy this self. So here I'm going to use a self dot driver dot quit. So this will quit that it will quit the browser. Okay, so it will log in. After successfully login, it will quit. Okay, this is the setup. So this is a setup class and this is a teardown class. In middle I have one test case. Okay, so we will tell you what are things. We have a conf test file. Here we have these are the base configurations. This is my driver setup, scope using class, and in the Selenium helper I have one constructor. It has shows the driver, and I have two methods. One is web development, entering values and clicking. And in the test package, I'm creating setup function, and I'm logging in and closing a browser. Okay. So how to run? I'm going to clear this entire stuff. So how to run? pytest.v, because v is kind of verbose. So it takes. So after doing this, I'm going to run it. So how to run? pytest-v. So it's collecting one test case because I'm running only one test case. Launching the browser. It's enter the URL. So it's showing a timeout exception. Sometimes it occurs basically because it takes more loading time. I'm running again. We'll see what is happening. That's why if it is happening like timeout exceptions, so right now we give 5 seconds to wait, right, to enter element. So if it is case, make it as a 7 or 10 seconds based upon the application design, our network capacity, those times. So it's happening again once again. So what I will do, I will go to my helper. So I'll make it in 5 to 10 seconds. So sometimes it will help us. Okay. So I'm running again. So it's launching the browser. See this? It's entering the URL and password. I'm clicking on login button. Okay. So right now it got a pass. It got successful. Okay, so this is the user weight. So mostly in your application sometimes low, so try to use a little more weights compared to the normal weights. Another thing is we are using explicit weight, so it's a good practice only. Okay, so right now this is the overall concept. In next class we will attach the reports stuffs, taking screenshots, and we will write more test cases and more reusable methods in Selenium helper, as well as in next session we are going to create a general helpers like normal basics Python coding, like taking a date functions, creating a random strings, so those kind of stuffs. So in the current class, first thing we done a new project, we created packages, we done a basic setup of our browser setups. Okay, and we done a like a base class saying Selenium helper. After that we create a login page or the setups. After the login page we done a test case in one test case. So that is the overall concept. So if you like this video, please like and share to your friends. And if you faced any issues in mid, watch the full video. And if you faced any issues, please put me on the comment. I will help you over there. And thanks for joining in.